And we're live. All right. Hey, thanks everybody for being here. So welcome to day one. If you are feeling super overwhelmed at this moment, please just take a deep breath, because I can assure you that with the size of this group, you are among many friends today. Everybody starts off kind of anxious or nervous or confused or even like frustrated. I shouldn't say everyone. Most people do. Okay, so if that's you, please just take a breath and relax. You do not have to have everything like figured out and perfect and ready to go today. You won't. And honestly, like neither does anybody else unless they've already been doing this for 6 or more weeks. So you are in the same boat as everybody. We are all going to figure this out together. Week one this week is going to be a lot of trial and error. And what I will tell you that you will find is that I'm being very truthful when I tell you that if you plan your macros ahead of time, you have a much higher likelihood of being successful in your day than if you just try to wing it and plug things in as you go. Frequently, if I do that, because I do try and do that sometimes, what happens is that I'll feel like I'm doing great, like at my break, my fast meal, and then at lunch, and then snack, and then I'll get to dinner and I'll have like 50 grams of protein left and, 5 carbs and 10 grams of fat, it's a really sad dinner. So planning ahead will ensure that you get your macros nice and spaced out during the day so that you're not left with this really sad dinner, or getting to the point where you have like no macros left for dinner, or so many macros that you're eating an enormous meal, right? That will probably happen to you more than a few times, like especially in these first couple weeks. So if you plan ahead, I promise you it will be so much easier. Your days will run so much more smoothly if you have it planned out ahead of time and you just know what you're going to be eating. The best way to do that is just to take inventory of what you have in your house, plug that into your day, like open up your app, start putting in, this is what I'm going to break my fast with. This is what I'm going to have for lunch. This is what I'm going to have for dinner. And if dinner is your most important meal of the day because you're going to be sitting down with your family, plug that meal in first so you can make sure you have exactly what you're planning to have for your family. And then you fill in the rest with your breakfast, your breakfast, your lunch, and your snacks, right? So planning ahead is key. Let's see here. All right. Now we've got a whole lot of people in here. This is great. So I want you all to be thinking about like what your main goal is for this week. And for the new people, it's probably all the same, right? It's like to figure out the program. So that's a huge goal to have. So if you can, think about maybe something smaller. Maybe not just to figure out everything, but maybe to figure out how you get better at using MyFitnessPal, or maybe to figure out how your meal is going to connect with your workouts. Like if you're not doing the faster way workouts, maybe make sure that you know which workouts you're supposed to be doing on which day. Anyway, just something to think about. So please don't overwhelm yourself with feeling like you have to figure out absolutely everything this week. Because you guys, remember, we have 6 weeks from today to figure everything out. And some people aren't really nailing their macros until like the end of week 2 or even into week 3, right? Usually by week 4, everybody's pretty much got the hang of it. But don't feel like you have to be perfect this week, because there is no perfect. Like even if you are perfect for a couple days, eventually you're going to have a day where whatever, you go over on something, or you fall short on something, or you can't get your workout in, or whatever. So progress, not perfection, is always the name of the game. So even if you make 2 great decisions after you have made 5 not so great decisions, that's still progress, right? You're still making a conscious choice to do something differently than the way that you used to do it. Anyway, okay, so what we are focused on is teaching our bodies to become pro-fat burners instead of sugar burners. So our bodies preferentially burn carbohydrates for fuel. Like it loves to do that. That's as far as like your energy pathway goes in your body. That's the easiest thing for your body to do. So your body always chooses to burn carbs first. When we don't have carbs in our system, like today and tomorrow, our low carb days where we're not giving our body very many carbs, your body is forced to turn to a different fuel source for energy. This is where the fat comes in. So when you're looking at your macros for today, right, our protein stays the same as it's going to stay on a regular macro day. So if you normally get 89 grams of protein, you are also going to get 89 grams of protein today. Your carbs dip way down, so you get to that 50 grams net carbs or less, and then your fat is going to fill up the rest. So you're still getting the same amount of calories you would get on a regular macro day. Your fat is just going to fill up the rest. So most of you are going to be around 50, 60, 65 grams of fat percentage, 50, 60, or 65% of fat for your day. That's a lot of fat. It's going to take you some time to figure out what foods have a lot of fat and not a lot of carbs. So refer to those lists, ask questions on the page if you need some guidance, but I've already kind of thrown those things out there in the videos last week, so I don't want to cover it too much today. But what our carb cycle does is it gives us kind of the best of all these different like diet plans that we know can work for a time. Like there are some really good benefits of the keto diet, like the super low carb diet, but sustainability in that plan is really like this, especially for women, because our hormones do not like to not have carbs for very long. So we take the best parts of that. We only do it for 2 days, and we get the benefits of that for part of the week, right? We get the benefits of calorie restriction 2 days a week when we're doing our low macro days, and we get the benefits of rest and recovery also. And then we get the benefits of appropriately portioned macros where we're going kind of a normal amount of fat, nice normal protein, and then higher on our carbs to replenish our carbohydrate, our energy stores on our regular macro days. So we're cycling through this program, taking like the best of all these different plans and putting it all into one so we can lose fat in a really manageable, healthy way that keeps our hormones happy, it keeps our metabolism up, and it keeps us in a muscle building state. All right, so we're creating a flexible metabolism. That's where I was going with that. You want to be flexible so that no matter what foods you're taking in, your body knows how to best use it. So that's what we're trying to teach our bodies. All right, so this kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Tracking your macros, I promise you guys will get so much easier after this week. If you're not used to doing it, it can be kind of tedious at first, sort of time consuming to figure out what foods fit where, like what is a protein, what foods are partial proteins and partial fat and all that. I promise you guys it will get easier and you'll be really nailing it towards the end of the program, or at least you'll know exactly what you need to do to nail it towards the end of the program. The first couple weeks are always the hardest. Okay, so today and tomorrow, your job is to hit that protein number, okay? I want you to always hit your protein number. Women need a lot of protein, I mean, just like men do, but some of us tend to undereat protein. Protein is expensive for your body to digest, so it automatically increases your metabolism when you're eating a nice amount of protein. So you wanna hit that protein. You want to keep your carbohydrates at 50 net grams or less. And if you look at the post that I put up yesterday that shows you my macro screenshot, that calculation that you do, the number of carbs that you've eaten minus the number of fiber that you've eaten, those grams, that's where you get your 50 grams net carbs. We only care about net carbs on low carb day. We don't care about net carbs any other day of the week. So whatever your regular macro carb goal is, let's say it's 200 grams of carbs, you're going to hit 200 grams of carbs. I don't care what your fiber is. So that calculation for getting your net carbs is only important on low carb days. So you're hitting your protein, you're getting 50 grams net carbs or less, and you're filling up the rest of the day with fat, okay? The easiest way to do that, or one of the keys to doing that, is to build in higher fat protein sources. So get away from the chicken breast today. Get away from the white fish, unless you're just going to put like some sort of like butter garlic sauce on there. Get away from that stuff. You can save that for your regular macro, your low macro days. Focus on fattier meat choices like chicken thighs with the skin on. Like how delicious is that? Salmon is a fattier fish choice. This is a great day for red meat, ground beef, steaks. There are lots of fattier protein choices out there. If you like bacon, go for the bacon. Pork chops. So all these foods that for many of us, we've kind of stayed away from for years because we were always told fat is bad. I want you to focus on those foods today. Fat is actually a really, really great thing for hormone creation. It also, you've heard of fat-soluble vitamins. Fat is needed by your body to help transport all those vitamins and minerals to the different parts of your body. It helps create kind of the outside capsules of your cells. So your body needs fat. This is a great time. Your 2 low carb days are a great time to up your intake of fat. And it doesn't have to be saturated fat, right? Monosaturated fats like your olive oil, your avocados, those are great things to incorporate too, right? So if you want to take that whole avocado and sprinkle some sea salt and maybe some red pepper flakes on there, that's a delicious meal choice for today too. So get creative. You'll figure it out. You will figure it out. If you need some ideas, if you go on Pinterest and you Google dairy-free keto, that's Keto, you will find lots of options. Okay, lots of ideas, but you want to make sure it's dairy-free because lots of keto is like cream sauce and sour cream and cheese and all that. You don't want that. So dairy-free keto will give you some ideas. Okay, let's see. We've already talked about that. All right. As far as your workouts go this week, everybody's going to be kind of in a different place, right? There are some people coming to this program who really haven't been exercising. There are those of you that have been over-exercising. So everybody's going to be in a different place. You've probably noticed in your portal, there are beginner workouts, there's home workouts, and there's gym workouts. Do what suits you best. If you're coming from a place where you have not been working out, do the beginner workouts. And maybe don't even do all of the workout. Like maybe you only do 1 set instead of 2 sets, or maybe instead of doing 15 reps, you do 10. Do what feels good to you. And then you can always sort of judge tomorrow or the next day, okay, was that enough? Or do I need to push harder? Like maybe I can get out of the beginner workouts and do the home workouts instead. Just judge for yourself. Don't feel like you have to jump right in so that you're, not walking on Wednesday or you can't sit down comfortably to go to the bathroom. You don't need to push yourself that hard. As we go through this program, the workouts will get harder. So if you are used to like doing super intense workouts like Orange Theory or CrossFit or something, you will probably find that the workouts might be a little easy for you. Trust the process. So remember, part of living the faster way to fat loss is making sure we are doing appropriate amounts of exercise. You do not want to be in the gym every single day going balls to the wall and like hitting a 10 on your, on your scale from 1 to 10, your intensity scale, like getting breathless, feeling on the verge of puking every day. You do not want to do that because what that does is drive your cortisol up. And when your cortisol is up, your body goes, okay, we're not going to burn any fat right now because clearly we're being chased by a lion, right? It puts your body in that fight or flight state that unfortunately we have in our biology from caveman days, right? So if you're putting yourself in that state every day, it's going to be really hard for you to lose fat. I don't know if maybe some of you are this person, but I know plenty of, because I'm a fitness instructor, I've known a lot of fitness instructors over the years that teach like 20 hours a week, and they could probably stand to lose 10 or 20 pounds, right? That is because they are constantly putting their body in overdrive. So remember, we don't want to do that. Trust the process. If you have a couple, CrossFit workouts that you want to do every week, or you have a couple Orange Theory, that's fine. You just shouldn't be doing it every day. So if you're finding that the workouts are a little too easy for you, but you're still trying to stick to the faster way workouts, you can do a couple of things. Increase your weights, right? A lot of you are stronger than you think you are. You can lift heavier. You get on that leg press and you put 145er on each side. Go heavier. Put an extra 25 on there. See how that feels. Maybe you can put 2 45s on each side. You are stronger than you think. Also, let's see, if maybe adding weight doesn't feel good to you because whatever, you have a trick shoulder and adding more weight just doesn't feel good. You could tack on another set if you'd like, but I don't want you in the gym any longer than an hour. So I don't want you tacking on an extra set to everything and then ending up being in the gym for an hour and a half, right? We don't need to do that. An hour of exercise is great every day with the running around and everything else you do, like carting your kids to their sporting events or taking your dog for a walk or, parking the farthest parking spot at Walmart before you walk in. You'll be getting enough exercise, okay? So try to find that nice, happy medium. Let's see. Okay, somebody asked a couple days ago, and I wanted to cover this. Also, sorry, before I move on, about your workouts. If you miss a workout, don't try to double up on your workouts the next day. Just say screw it and forget about it. 80% of the results that you're going to get in this program are from nailing your macros. The workouts are great to give you that extra edge and help you build muscle. But if you're not doing all the workouts, or you can't do all the workouts, or you miss a workout, do not stress about it, okay? And definitely don't try to make it up by doing 2 workouts in one day. If you want to take a little extra walk after your strength workout, that's fine. But you don't need to be doing like leg day and your HIIT day all in one, okay? And let's see. Okay, so somebody else asked this question. This is where I was going. Somebody else asked this question a few days ago where she said, if we screw up our macros one day, should I be trying to make up for it the next day? And the answer to that is no, because honestly, everybody's going to have days where you mess up, right? You're going to have, especially if you're like me. I always tell everybody this. I am a member of the Clean Plate Club, and I have always been. Like, if you put way too much food in front of me, I'm going to go ahead and eat it. There will be a lot of ladies in this group that are under eaters, and there will be those of us that constantly have to try not to eat as much as we want to eat. Everybody's always kind of one way or the other. So you're always trying to like get in all your macros, or you're always trying to keep your macros where they should be. And if you go over or you're under or whatever that is, don't try to make up for it the next day by eating more or eating less or being like, you know what, I didn't eat enough this day. Should I just call this my low macro day? No, just get back to your schedule, okay? Get right back on your schedule, and that way you're just right back where you need to be. So no making up for anything. If you happen to throw down a fistful of Hershey's Kisses, just clean the slate and move on. It is what it is. All right, so the first couple weeks, you may find that you are detoxing a little bit. If you're coming from, hold that thought. I have a Chihuahua and he's whining out here. I don't know if you can hear him, but he's really annoying to me. So hold that thought for a second. Let me let him in. Come on, guys. Okay, he has a way of being incredibly annoying when he wants your attention, as Chihuahuas can be. Anyway, okay, so detoxing. You might find that you're detoxing this week, especially if you're coming from a place where you have eaten lots of processed food, or you have a sweet tooth, right? You're a sugar person. So detoxing usually comes in the form of headaches. It might come in the form of fatigue. So if that's you, extra hydrate. Try to get more sleep if you can. And just know that this too shall pass, okay? This is bad things coming out of your body, right? Detoxing can also show up in like a skin breakout. So our bodies can detox in many ways. And as you probably know, our skin is one of our largest organs. So while your kidneys and your liver can detox by, peeing and pooping things out, right? Your skin can detox by sweating, and sometimes that comes out in like maybe a little pimple on your face or something like that. So just know that it's all part of the process, and it's all good things happening. And just extra hydrate. So if you have never done low carb before, if you've never tried that, these 2 days might be your hardest. I will tell you, a lot of people end up having these 2 days be their favorite days of the week because they get to eat such tasty, flavorful food. So it may or may not be you, but just give it a chance here. So low carb days, first day usually goes fine. Second day, until your body gets used to the process of burning fat for fuel, second day will be harder. You may find that in the afternoon, you are really craving some carbs. You may also find that your second day of low carb starts to disturb your sleep. So what's happening here, it's not abnormal or something bad. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing low carb. What's going on is your blood sugar might be kind of used to doing this all day. And when you go low carb, your blood sugar is kind of like this. So if you're not used to doing low carb, especially by the second day of being low carb where you're really glycogen depleted, after so many hours of that, your body goes, I think we need to release some blood sugar and bring our blood sugar back up. I think we need to release some insulin and bring our blood sugar back up. And a lot of times that happens in the middle of the night, which stinks. So you may find that this first week, maybe even the second week, that your second day of low carb, you don't sleep as well. If that is really bad, if it's real bad for you, or it continues to be a problem, I want you to reach out to me. Every once in a while, I will bump some people up on their low carb day so they're not going so low carb. So that's not super uncommon. If you find that it's really, really bad for you or it just doesn't go away, then talk to me and we'll make an adjustment for you. Some people are just more sensitive to having higher or lower blood sugar, or your body is just more sensitive to not having the carbs. So I just wanted to throw that out there, put that little nugget in your head. You won't know for a couple days, but anyway, just keep that in the back of your mind. Also, once Wednesday rolls around, you get your 2 low carb days under your belt. You're going to wake up Wednesday, you might have a headache. You might feel fatigued. You might feel like absolute doo-doo in your workout on Wednesday. Not unusual. That will get better after a couple weeks of teaching your body, once again, how to use that fat for fuel instead of the carbohydrates. Once again, if you find it just doesn't go away, like you always feel like crap on Wednesday, you're always irritable, you just can't get over it, you let me know, we will make an adjustment. So not only does that have to do with maybe how your body regulates its own blood sugar, or how your hormones maybe prefer a higher carbohydrate intake, it also has to do with your adrenals. So if you are somebody who's chronically stressed, like you have like a high powered demanding job, or I don't know, you have like 8 kids, or I don't know, you're in a relationship that's kind of futile. Not futile, that's not the word I'm looking for. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Let's say frustrating. You're in a relationship that's frustrating to you. If you're under stress because of whatever it is, it could be that your body just needs more carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are in your body. They help your body produce serotonin, which is that feel-good chemical. So if you're under a lot of stress and anxiety, or you tend to be a more high anxiety person, you may find that we just need to up your carbs a tiny bit on low carb day. But test it out for a few days, see how you feel. All right. And let's see, I already talked about pre-planning your macros. You're going to hear me say that 100 times because it really does help things go more smoothly. If you're not familiar with the MyFitnessPal app, you can choose to save foods in there, save recipes, create your own meals. So if it's something that you eat a lot, you don't have to re-enter the same meal every time. For example, my smoothies, I always make my smoothies like on my regular macro day, I make them the same way. I have my 2 scoops of protein. I make it with water. I do half a banana. I do a 1/4 cup of strawberries. I do a 1/4 cup of blueberries and a 1/4 of an avocado. That is my standard shake recipe on regular macro days. And I have that saved as one of my foods in MyFitnessPal so that every time I enter it, I don't have to enter all those things every single time, right? All 5 or 6 ingredients or whatever it is. I just choose my smoothie and enter it that way. So if you haven't played around with your app, you will discover that. You can also enter recipes. So if you are somebody who really likes to cook and you have some great recipes, you can input those by going into my recipes. You can input the individual ingredients one at a time, or there's also a way that you can upload a URL. Like if you find a recipe on a website that you like, a blog or whatever, you can put in the URL for that recipe, cut and paste it in your phone, and it will upload the ingredients for you. That being said, it only works like 80% of the time. Sometimes it'll tell you that it can't find the recipe if it's one of those like blog recipes where she writes 5 pages before they post the recipe. Sometimes those don't work out well, but you could still manually input it. So there are ways to make your life easier with that app. All right, somebody's got a question. The question is, will you post the smoothie recipe on Facebook for us? Yes, I think I want to say I actually posted it somewhere. I forget who asked, but I will go ahead and put that up there again. Super easy. So, all right, this week we are focusing on whole food choices. Did it come from the ground or did it have a mother, right? If the answer is yes to either of those, it's good to go. Like I mentioned in the first video, there are some gray area choices. You guys, I think you all have common sense here to decide what's good and what's bad, but of course you can reach out to me if you want. For example, like I was at Costco the other day and they had a box of crackers that was like sweet potato crackers, right? But if you look at the ingredient list, the first ingredient was corn, and then the second ingredient was like corn flour, and then the third ingredient was a sweet potato. And basically the nutrition panel looked just like the nutrition panel from the club crackers. So while a sweet potato cracker might be a better choice than a club cracker just because it's not gluten, it still has a base of corn. And corn really doesn't have any nutritional value to it, right? So there are always better choices. But again, that's kind of one of those gray area things. So if you see something at a grocery store, you can always snap a picture of it, send it to me, and I can give you the yay or the nay on it. All right. The other best tip that I can give you for this week, other than planning ahead, is to have your foods ready to go. There is nothing worse than coming home to break your fast, and let's say maybe you're like an hour after you were supposed to be breaking your fast, you are starving and you're hangry, and all you have in your refrigerator is like raw ground beef, some cheese sticks for your kids, like, I don't know, pasta leftovers or something. So try to plan ahead. Batch cooking is my favorite way to cook. I don't do a lot of like complicated meals really. Like I will roast vegetables, a whole sheet pan of vegetables in the oven. I will put a whole bunch of chicken on the grill or in the oven, or I have an Advantium oven all at once. So I'll have that cooked. I will get out my rice steamer and I'll steam a whole bunch of carrots at once. I will steam a whole bunch of broccoli at once so that when I come home, it may not be the most exciting meal ever, but quite honestly, like when you're starving, who cares, right? You just want food. So when I come home, I always have cooked chicken thighs ready to go. I always have cooked chicken breast ready to go. I always have either a bag of broccoli that I can steam quickly or steamed carrots. I always have a variety of different salad dressings that I can put on things. So I have salad dressings that are low in fat. I have salad dressings that are high in fat. So depending on the day, I can just do chicken, broccoli, carrots, dressing, and then those like steam in the bag rices or quinoa. If you're near a Trader Joe's, there's 8 million things in their freezer section that are awesomely quick to eat. So if it's a regular macro day, I can throw rice in there real quick. I just steam my little bag in the microwave for 90 seconds and I've got my chicken, my broccoli, my carrots, my dressing, and some rice, and I'm good to go. And then maybe I have a piece of fruit on the side, or I have some nuts on the side if I need to make up for fat or carbs or whatever it is. Having your stuff ready to go is key. All right. So if you did not get to do any food prep over the weekend, now's a great time to do it since we're at the beginning of the week. Some of you asked this weekend for my favorites at Trader Joe's. I'm not going to post that again in this page because I've posted it in many different places. It's on my KC Fit Coach Instagram page, my KC Fit Coach Facebook page. If you haven't gotten on there yet, I think most of you have. If you just go to the photos on that page, you will see photos galore of all kinds of things that I have found at Trader Joe's, at Costco, at wherever, that are my favorites. So they're all, gluten-free, they're all dairy-free. I mean, I have my favorite like dairy-free ice cream posted on there, all kinds of stuff. So you can get some great ideas by just, creeping my Facebook page, my KC Fit Coach Facebook page, lots of ideas in there. Yeah, I think that's it, you guys. Did I actually end this meeting in 30 minutes? Oh my gosh. All right, does anybody have any more questions? I don't see anything popping up in the chat. Anyone? Going once, going twice. If you want to unmute yourself, now is a great time to ask a question. Anyone? Connie, you don't have any... There's Connie. I was like, Connie's got to have a question.
I know. I'm starting to type. Okay, I'm not doing the low carb day today. We discussed that, and so I'm on a regular macro day.
Yeah.
I am struggling to get enough carbs.
Okay. So, how many carbs do you have left for today?
As you were talking, I was just plugging in crap. It's like, okay, honey has a lot of carbs. I'll stick that in there. I still have 84 grams of carbs to go. And
okay.
I'm just plugging all sorts of stuff in and just trying to make a hodgepodge. My food looks disgusting, but whatever.
Well, okay. So are you making a shake today?
I already had one.
Oh, you already had it.
Okay. Had fresh fruit in it, and that gave me some.
Yes. Okay. So what are you having for dinner? Do you know yet?
All I have on there is honey.
For dinner? Oh my God.
I told you I'm plugging stuff in. I have nothing down for dinner. Nothing.
Okay. Easy.
I'm just plugging stuff.
A big baked potato. Okay. Have yourself a big baked potato. Do you have any fat left for the day? Or you only have carbs left?
I have 5 grams of fat left, but I mean, literally I had nuts in there and I like doubled or tripled my amount of nuts to get the fat up, and yeah.
So, okay. So you could take out some of the nuts, give yourself like a baked potato for dinner and a good tablespoon of butter on there. So at least you don't have to have a dry baked potato. Or you could do rice. Like rice is a great one too. Since you've already had a lot of fruit for the day, you're going to want something without the fruit sugar in it. So you'll want something more savory, like rice or a baked potato or sweet potato.
Okay, but you said a tablespoon of butter, but yet you tell us to go dairy-free.
You can use ghee. Have you ever bought ghee before?
No.
So here, I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to show you my ghee. All right, so ghee is basically butter with the milk taken out of it. We're going to go into my pantry here. And this is ghee. This is the brand that I like. It's shelf stable, which means it's always soft, so you can always spread it on anything, so you don't have to keep it in the fridge. And this is basically it's lactose free. I shouldn't say it's 100% dairy free, but it's basically the butter with all the dairy taken out of it. So that's a good one. And you can find that pretty much at any grocery store now in the health food section. That's also a great one for those of you that are doing low carb day today. Put this on your veggies, right? Get out your green veggies, put that in there. If you want to have a cup of like hot tea or hot coffee in the afternoon, blend up some ghee in there. It'll make it like a latte. It's really good. And that's a good way to up your fat.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right.
I'll take you off.
No other questions? All right. Now that you guys have seen my pantry, I don't know what you saw in there. I do have a whole shelf full of junk food. So anyway, all right. So I'm going to post this in the page later today. If you think of any questions, then let me know. If you are stuck, like you're halfway through the day and you post your macro screenshot and you say, okay, I need more of this. Give me an idea. I can definitely do that. Okay. So keep that in mind. Have a great rest of the day. I hope it's sunny where you are. It's a beautiful, gorgeous day here. So, all right. Thanks, girls, for being here. I will talk to you later today.